Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Blessings, one and all. Thank you for tuning in to Take Back Your Mind podcast, Life Question of the Week. It's always my joy to dig into a question and see what emerges. And hopefully what emerges is not just for Christina, who's asking the question, but for everybody who is tuning in. Let's see what her question is. Christina asks, how can I tell the difference between my intuition and triggers from past trauma? That's her main question. How can I tell the difference between my intuition and triggers from past trauma? Since the age of 18, almost every boyfriend I've had has cheated on me. And when I was younger, my intuition was strong, and I easily found out that these men were cheating on me. This has led me to have trust issues with men. Now, with my current boyfriend, even simple things like him not answering the phone when I call, or hanging out with his friends, or talking to another woman, all of that triggers me. He's been patient with me, but if I don't heal this, then I know we won't last. I know this is not healthy, and I don't want this to be my reality anymore. I just want to know how to fix these insecurities. Please help. It's a good question. Because there's intuition. Let's break this up a little bit. What is intuition? There's intuition and there's direct knowing. Intuition is an embracing of something that's already been set in motion, and you can pick up on things that are good that are going to happen, or you pick up on things that may not be so good. That's your intuitive hit. Then there's direct knowing. Direct knowing is having an awareness of that which is true. I'm talking about the eternal truth. And so one thing that you want to begin to do when you talk about healing triggers is you're going to have to go into the depth of forgiveness of the past boyfriends that you caught having other relationships with other women while they were telling you you were the only one. Unless that forgiveness takes place and you realize that whatever they were doing from the time you were 18 years old up to present moment, I don't know how old you are at this particular moment, they were in their own growth cycle. They were doing their thing. They weren't sincere about their relationship with you, or however you want to language that. Had very little to do with you, possibly. But unless you forgive the actions of these guys, I mean, you were 18, so they must have been around the same age, maybe a little older, I'm not quite sure. But unless you begin to forgive that is going to be a continual trigger within you of which you will project into your world now, as you've said, with your current boyfriend, who may or may not be doing anything to harm your relationship that you're in, but you will see it that way. You'll see basic conversations, as you've indicated, with another woman, or you'll see him hanging out with his boys, or not necessarily answering the phone at that particular time. You'll see that as a red flag as to something that's going wrong, and it may not mean anything. He's not answering the phone. The phone may not be turned on. The ringer may be off. It's okay for him to hang out with his boys. It's okay for him to talk to another woman. But you'll see it through the perception of an unhealed being. And you will not get intuitive hits. You'll just get triggers. So you want to go back. And you want to think about these guys that you were involved in when you were younger. You want to forgive them. You want to forgive their actions or their inactions. Why? So that you don't keep repeating the experience. You're going to continue to be in the experience of the trigger, even if it isn't really happening. So you'll be re-experiencing it on two ways. You'll be re-experiencing it from the trigger, And you'll be re-experiencing in terms of magnetizing that kind of being into your life. Do you understand what I just said, Christina? You will magnetize the kind of person who would cheat on you. I don't like using the word cheat, but that seems to be a kind of a popular phrase. You'll keep magnetizing that kind of being into your life. Or you'll re-experience it through the trigger, and that has a perception that someone is doing something. So you want to go in, you want to clean up your house, you want to dust off that old furniture, and you want to begin to forgive so that you can begin to see rightly. And then you'll train yourself not to look for the negative in another person. Like you're looking for the next shoe to drop. You're looking for somebody to cheat. You're looking, because it's happened so many times. You're looking for it. So your whole nervous system is vibrating at the level of, oh, I don't want this to happen again. What does that do? It happens again and again and again, even if it doesn't happen in the real, so-called real world. So we have to recalibrate our nervous system through forgiveness and through activating the parasympathetic system by activating our vagus nerve. How do you do that? Take some time throughout the course of your day. Breathe in less than you breathe out. A very simple one is breathing into the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 6. Do that 5 to 7 times, particularly if you're feeling triggered, so that your parasympathetic system comes back into homeostasis and harmony so that you can think clearly. And then what happens? Eventually, you'll be able to tell the difference between whether you're getting an intuitive hit or whether it's just your trigger activating your nervous system again. Breathe in. 4, 6. Vagus nerve gets activated. Parasympathetic system is released from fight or flight. And you're balanced. Now you can hear your intuition. Is this really going on, or is this my imagination based on my trigger? Just try that. And that's okay to do almost every day. Because you know what? We drive, we go into traffic. Somebody's always blowing their horn or cutting you off. Or there's all kinds of things that happen in the world, and people are always in fight or flight. Not only add meditation to your practice, forgiveness and activation of the vagus nerve will allow you to see the difference between your trigger and your intuition. Now remember, this is just an aside. Your intuition is different from direct knowing. Intuition embraces something that's already happened, something that's been set in motion. Direct knowing only sees the real and the eternal. Maybe I'll cover that as a particular lesson one particular Friday, the difference between intuition and direct knowing. Christina, you brought up a very good point. Not only I hope this serves you, I hope it serves everybody that's tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in for Take Back Your Mind, Life Question of the Week. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's lift the vibration of humanity to catch up with the vibration of Mother Earth. Have a beautiful day. Hey, thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to ask a question, please email me at podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. And you know what? Your question just might be featured. Have a beautiful and bright day.